if you get in a rut in life or you get in a rut in business and you're having more bad thoughts than positive thoughts or negative thoughts than positive thoughts, you're in the wrong environment. You are letting negativity overtake your mindset. And Jim Rohn said that every day, we must stand guard at the gates to our mind. Every day. Because things are going to happen. Things can creep in. Like some of you, if you lived in a really violent area where there was a lot of crime, one of the first things you would do to secure your home is to put a fence around your home. You'd lock the doors, but you would put a fence. You do other things maybe, but listen, the same thing has to happen with your mind. Put a fence around it, and negative people and negative thoughts are not allowed inside your fence. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Freedom Factory. A little different setup today. Not on my normal cameras, not on the normal microphone, and that's because we are post Hurricane Milton here in Florida, and we just got our power back just a day ago, but we still don't have Wi-Fi. So it's really crazy how much of your life revolves around the internet. We even don't really have good cell service. So I'm recording this on a local device and I'm gonna try and upload it another way. But anyway, glad to be here, and the show must go on, right? That's what we do as entrepreneurs. That's what we do as leaders, is we are solution seekers. There's always going to be problems. In fact, I say there are no problems. We just have decisions to make. And that's the topic for today's podcast, is how do you handle negativity in your group? Because there are decisions to make, because things happen. I said things, not problems. Things happen. And the way we react to those things has everything to do with what the outcome is going to be. And so if we allow those things, those issues to affect us negatively, it will have a really bad effect on our business and on our team. So today's a really important topic, and I hope that I'm able to say the things that are on my mind without this going for too long. I want to keep it short and sweet, but it's important. It's important that as a leader, as a business owner, you keep your head in the game. And John Maxwell told me once that the most amazing memories in our lives are going to be with other people. Think about that for a second. Think about your most amazing memories. I bet almost all of you would say, yep, they happened with other people, whether it's your children, family, friends. John also said the most frustrating moments of your life are with other people. And that's true too. The people that let you down, the people that disappoint you, the people that anger you, the people that do you wrong. Well, those situations is usually incurred by other people. So people are going to be good, people are going to be bad, and how those things affect us is important to our reaching our goals and our success. So the first thing I want to tell you guys when it comes to negativity, and this is going to be a two-part topic. It's how we deal with negativity within our own brains, because things are going to come at us and we have a decision to make. We can be positive or we can be negative. So I want to talk about our own heads, our own negativity. And then I want to talk about when there's negativity within your team, within your organization, and how to handle that. Okay. So let's talk about it personally first. Right away, the very first thing you guys need to do is recognize when you are being negative or when you are in a negative environment. Sometimes things are said that maybe is not so blatant in the beginning that you're actually being affected negatively. But I will tell you, and this goes for me and everyone in this audience. If you go through days, or let's call it a rut, if you get in a rut in life, or you get in a rut in business, and you're having more bad thoughts than positive thoughts, or negative thoughts than positive thoughts, you're in the wrong environment. You are letting negativity overtake your mindset. And Jim Rohn said that every day, we must stand guard at the gates to our mind. Every day. Because things are going to happen. Things can creep in. Like some of you, if you lived in a really violent area where there was a lot of crime, one of the first things you would do to secure your home is to put a fence around your home. You'd lock the doors, but you would put a fence. You do other things maybe, but listen, the same thing has to happen with your mind. Put a fence around it, and negative people and negative thoughts are not allowed inside your fence. Now, some of you are saying, some of those negative people already live in the fence. They're in my house, right? Recognize that and understand that you may have to work really hard to counterbalance that negativity. And I think even in healthy relationships, there's always going to be negativity, right? There's always going to be, it can't always be rainbows and sunshine, right? This is life. So things are going to happen. And all of us, no matter our intentions, good or bad, like we're going to have to stand guard at the gates to our mind and make sure we're protecting so that we don't get in this rut. We don't want to get in a rut and it affect our business, affect our relationships, and affect the goals that we've set up in front of us. So recognize if you're in a rut and counterbalance that. How do you counterbalance it? Go find the people that are not in a rut. Get around people who are making some things happen, who are positive, and get around people. Listen, if there are people that you're spending time with, whether it's in your home, outside of your home, on Zooms, in business, that when you separate from them, you're in a better, get away from the people that when you're with them, when you leave, you feel worse. Like I always say, when you watch the news, when is the last time you watched the news and after the news was over, you said, whoo, oh man, I feel so much better now. The news, guys, is like a lot of other things. It's really not there to serve us the way you think it's there to serve us. And so some relationships you think are serving you are not serving you. And so you need to recognize the relationships that are not serving you. And I don't mean like we're just taking from people. What I mean by serving you is that they're not challenging you. They're not making you a better person. Get away from the relationships that are not making you a better person. And if you're married to that person, I'm not saying to get away from them. I'm just saying it's time to have some conversations and let them know the effect that they're having on you. And obviously, if they're having that effect on you, it's going to be really hard to have a really abundant, great relationship if you're in that kind of a rut, okay? So there's a saying, there is power in proximity. And so get in the proximity, get around people that are not in the rut. Get around people that have got some things going and have the right mindset, and allow them to rub off on you, allow them to challenge you, allow them to make you grow. All right. So recognize it, and then you're going to have to take some action. And seriously, there's relationships that I've had in the past that I just had to put some boundaries on because it just wasn't good for my mindset. They were not making me a better person. They were making me a lesser person by being around them. So just recognize who those people are. Doesn't mean you don't love them, but I would say spend less time with them, because those people are not going to help you get where you want to be. They're going to slow you down. They're going to drag you down. They're going to make you have doubts about your own abilities. And you just really need to recognize it and understand that boundaries are good. loving people, this is not about loving people or not, right? We should love everybody because all of us are imperfect. Love everybody. We just don't have to love what they do or love their decisions. Okay? Love everybody, but we don't have to love their decisions and we don't have to spend time with them. Set some boundaries, protect yourself, and remove yourself from negativity. In fact, I've been known to tell people, hey, listen, I really care about you, but the last couple of conversations we've had have been so negative that it's really having an effect on me. And I want to continue to hang out, do things, but we're going to have some positive conversations starting right now. Like this conversation we're in, either it changes to some positive things or I've got to excuse myself. Be that bold, because if you're not that bold, you're going to be very unhappy in the future, because you cannot hang around 5 or 10 negative people and you end up not becoming just like them. And that's what we're trying to avoid. That's why you're here. There is no one that's going to attain freedom, right? The Freedom Factory here. There is no one that's going to attain freedom by hanging out with negative people. It just will not happen, okay? So now, what happens if this negativity is inside your organization, on your team? I'm going to give you 4 things, okay? Number 1 is you need to address it with them immediately. Address it immediately. I'm making a bunch of references here. John Maxwell, this conversation came up in a room that I was in with John Maxwell. And he said, John Maxwell's exact words was, shovel the pile while it is small. So if you get a pile of bad stuff, stinky bad stuff, don't wait till it's a big pile. Shovel it while it's small. So when you're around a person that starts off and it's negative, address that immediately. Don't let time go, because it's just going to pile up. And do it privately. Don't embarrass anyone publicly. Do it privately, because if you do it privately, then they will appreciate that. And that's what a good leader should be doing, is addressing it privately. Okay. Now, number 2. Let them know the effect they are having on others. So just ask them the question, like, hey, this is what you said. How do you think other people are going to take that? And let them answer. Or maybe you know of a situation. Here's what happens a lot of times in the teams, is something said negative, and then you start getting messages from the rest of the team like, that, why is she saying that? Or why is he saying that? Why are you allowing them to do that? What are you going to do about that, Mr. Leader or Mrs. Leader? And so I am not afraid to tell someone that's been negative, hey, listen, I'm getting messages from the team, and your conversations, the words you're saying, the things you're typing are having a negative effect on the team, and it's got to change. Okay, so that's number 2. Let them know the effect it's having on others in the organization. And if they're a good leader, that will embarrass them. That will hurt them to know that they're hurting others, and they will change. If they say, "Oh, well, that's their fault," well, now they're giving you another sign, right? They're giving you a sign. And then, thirdly, give them some recommendations of things that you did when maybe negative thoughts came into your head, or maybe you got in a rut. So when you got in a rut, how did you get out of the rut? Give them some recommendations of how you got out of the rut. You guys, I've quoted here I've quoted Jim Rohn, I've quoted John Maxwell. I quote people very oftenly. Why do you think I quote them? Well, it's because they've had a positive influence on me, because I have read their books, I've watched their videos, I've even attended their live events. You guys, one of the best ways that you can help someone is letting them help themselves. So you're not going to change someone, guys. You're just not. Okay? People have to change themselves. And so make some recommendations of things that they can do to change themselves. And so you may want to say, hey, can I recommend to you a podcast. Maybe it's the Freedom Factory. Can I recommend a podcast that helped me, or can I recommend a book that helped me, or have you listened to this person because they've really helped me get the right mindset? So what you should do is recommend to people podcasts, books, videos, mentors that helped you so that it can help them. Because you're not changing them, guys. No matter how bad you want, you are not changing these people. And if you try, it's going to kill you. It's literally going to wear you out. It's going to suck all the energy out. And the more you try, you know what you're doing? The more you try to help someone else, it's the more time you're spending around the wrong person. You can't spend your whole life trying to help people, because if you do that, and when I mean help people, I mean help people change themselves. I think all I do is spend my time trying to help people, because I think that's one of the most incredible things you can do. But I spend that time with people who want to help themselves, not just hear about how bad their life is and how everything against them and how this has happened negatively. I know. No. We ain't doing that. We are not doing that. So if you spend the majority of your time with people that are just negative because they like, and it's usually people are negative normally because they want the attention. They want people to feel sorry for them. Oh, really? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. Oh, I can't believe that happened to you. Oh, come on. I can't play that pity party, guys. I cannot do that. I don't do it with my own children. And I won't do it with people in business, because it's not helping my children to play the pity party. Because guess what? Life ain't easy. When you get out into the real world, people don't care. They don't care. Your business doesn't care. Your competition does not care. They don't. So the best thing that you can do and I can do is make sure we are around the right people. And if you spend enough time with the right people, things are going to go good. And by helping other people, one of the best things you can do is help the people who want to help themselves. And that's the last thing. That's the fourth thing here that I'm going to tell you guys when this happens in your team is be grateful. Be grateful when something like this happens in your team. When someone becomes negative in your team, they have just given you a sign. They have given you a sign of where to spend the most precious thing you possess, and that's your time. It's your time. Our time is the most precious thing we have, and we want to spend it with the right people, doing the right things. You don't want to spend it with the wrong people doing the wrong things. And so when someone's negative, when someone can take something that's not so big and turn it into this big deal, they have done you a blessing, because they've just identified to you that you should not be spending a lot of time and energy with this person. They are going to suck your time, they are going to suck your energy, and they are going to make it hard for you to become a positive person with their negativity. So count it as a blessing. When someone becomes negative to me, or they don't do the right things, or they're dragging other people down, I automatically put them to the bottom of the priority list. And I mean that for real. Like, oh, you need me to come do a meeting. You want me to do meetings for you. Okay, well, I'm going to go do meetings for the top 10 positive people. If I have time. If I have time, then we will maybe talk. And honestly, I'm not going to go do meetings for negative people. I'm not going to be on Zooms and leave my home and leave my family to go do meetings for negative people. I'm not doing it, because I'm literally wasting my time. Because the moment I leave, they'll sabotage it. They'll sabotage either in the meeting. I have been in meetings, doing meetings. I've left my family, traveled to do meetings for other people. And the very person that I've traveled for to be there doing meetings had the audacity to do and say negative things in the meeting that negatively impacted the meeting we're in. What a waste of time for me. I've learned the hard way, guys. I've learned through my own mistakes, and that's what I'm trying to pass on to you guys. So if someone's negative, take that as a sign that you don't invest a lot of your time and energy into that person until they can become a better person. Because I'm telling you right now, the network marketing business is about building teams and leadership. And you can travel the world doing meetings, but when you leave, if you don't have the right leadership in place, you have wasted your time. So I try and encourage people. I try and tell people the necessary steps that they can take to get the right mindset, to change what they're doing. But until they change, nothing's going to change and you're wasting your time. So what I'm sharing with you guys today is critically important information for you to have success in business, not just network marketing, but in business, but especially network marketing, because network marketing is a people business. And one of the best things that we can do is when we are around other people and they leave our presence, when they leave the meeting, they feel good that they were with us. They don't feel beat up. They don't feel more beat down or have these negative thoughts. They feel good because they've spent time with us. And so that is critically important, guys, that all of you understand that that's the game within the game. Is when you can become the type person that other people want to be around and be with, that's when you're going to have your biggest impact, because that's what other people need. They need that because there's so much negativity in their life that they're seeking or needing that other source, the good source. And that's what we're about. But it's easy. It's easy for us to creep into that negativity, to get in a rut. And that's why I think this podcast, this episode is so critical for all of you to hear, understand, and share. Share this in your teams. Like, one of the best things you guys can do, what I did, is when I had a person that was giving me some issues, I would, in a team chat or team Zoom, I would recommend books, videos, mentors, and say, hey, go listen to this episode. It's amazing. Guys, it's like teaching third party. You guys know sometimes to bring people into your business, it takes validation and third party. Sometimes though, most of the time, to teach your team, to build a big team, you also need third party validation in how to grow in themselves and become leaders. And so maybe this podcast can be that for you. I hope this topic is something that you will listen to over and over, because I believe it's critical. This is one of the most critical things to you being successful, is your mindset, making sure it stays the way it needs to be, and then helping others with their mindset. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope we did okay on sound, and hopefully we'll be back to civilization with Wi-Fi and normal power here soon in Florida. So you guys have a great day, have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.